Hi everyone, so if you've chosen to watch this video and give it a try, thank you very much for your time. So I'm in the beginning stages of doing my yoga teacher training, and I just came up with this flow and a little meditation, and I was curious to know what some people would think about it. So this is for constructive criticism purposes, so if you give this a try, I really would value your honest opinion about my sequencing, cueing, what you like, what you don't like about the class. So please reach out to me if you give it a try and let me know what you think so that I can keep working to improve my teaching style. So today's practice, the intention is going to be sense withdrawal. So specifically closing the eyes and just eliminating any extra visual stimulation that's not necessary. I am going to be using a block for the beginning part of class. If you don't have a block, you may have a book that's a similar size and shape, or maybe you have another object that would work. If not, we will be doing some variations without the blocks as well, so that's totally fine. So we are going to begin in a comfortable seat. We're going to start and finish the class with the eyes closed. So take your eyes closed now and start to take some deep breaths. In and out through the nose. And throughout the class, if at any point you feel comfortable in any postures to close your eyes, I encourage you to do so. And just experiment with that and how it affects your practice. Breathing deeply in and out through the nose here, and just taking some time to kind of briefly scan through your other senses. Notice how it might feel different with your eyes closed. Maybe you can spend a little bit more attention on them. Just quickly for yourself, going through, noticing each one. Giving each one an acknowledgement before moving on to the next. And throughout the class, just trying to maintain whatever attention you can on each of them. It can be very easy to let your sight dominate everything. So just acknowledging all the subtleties of each of your other senses. Take another breath in. And on your next exhale, either keeping the eyes closed or gently taking them open, we're going to come to meet on our shins. And we're going to take your block or whatever object you have. If you don't have the block, you're going to bring your hands to prayer in front of you, and you're going to press the palms together. If you don't have a block, keep in mind this range of motion will not be quite as much. So we're going to press our palms into the block. I have my block the widest width. And as you keep this pressure going in towards the block, I want you to gently start to take your arms up. And see how high you can get, keeping the integrity in the ribs. So if you need to adjust the ribs at all to lift the arms, you've gone too far. And on your exhale, bring it back down. So just waking up the shoulders here. Inhaling, bringing the arms up. And exhale, bringing the arms in front. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, bring the arms in front. Inhale, feel how it is to push the space. And exhale, bring the arms in front. Take a few more rounds of this. Closing the eyes if you wish. Exhale, bring the arms forward. We'll do 2 more and really push into the block more. Inhale. Exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, push and lift. And exhale, bringing the block down in front of you. Just take a moment to shake out the forearms. Take any rolls in the shoulders that feel nice. You can interlace the hands and circle the wrists if you like. Take the hands behind, take a little opening of the shoulders. And you're gonna take your block with you as you come down onto your back. We're just gonna do a little bit of work to wake up the core. So if you don't have the block, what you're gonna do is just press your hand into your thigh. If you do have the block, we're gonna take both knees to 90 degrees. The block comes on your shin, your thigh. And you're gonna take your elbow or your hand to the block. I prefer my elbow. And then your other hand's gonna come in parallel. You're gonna hold this block here, and as you inhale, you're going to extend the left leg and the left arm. Exhale, bringing it in, squeezing the elbow and knee to touch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow and knee touch. Inhale, reach, closing the eyes if you wish. Exhale, elbow and knee touch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow and knee touch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. And one more on this side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it in. Take the block out. We're going to take just a second. Take the knees in. Let it relax for just a moment before we get into the other side. Setting up with the block between the left thigh and the left elbow or palm. Other arm comes parallel to start. Inhale, reach the right arm and right leg. Exhale, bring in the knee to the elbow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach. Make sure you're keeping the integrity in the spine here as you reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. One last time. Inhale, reach as far as you can. And exhale, bring it in. Removing the block. Taking the knees into the chest. Little rock side to side if that feels nice. Breathing in. And exhale to reset. Next, you're going to take your legs up towards the ceiling, taking the block at the medium width, and I'm gonna hug the block between my ankles. So you're squeezing in with your inner thighs. The arms come up parallel to the legs. We're gonna inhale, reach the legs towards the floor, reach the arms towards the floor overhead. As you exhale, bringing the arms and legs back up overhead. And you're gonna reach up, take the block away from between your legs, zip the inner thighs together, pressing the block with the palms of the hands, and we're gonna inhale, reach, exhale, arms and legs to point towards the ceiling. We're gonna return the block between the ankles, and inhale, exhale, reaching up, swapping the block, inhale, exhale, up to the ceiling, block back between the ankles, inhale, exhale, rolling the shoulders and head up off the floor, take the block, inhale, exhale, taking the block back between the feet, inhale, exhale, arms and legs up towards the ceiling, block between the palms, inhale, exhale, reach up, block between the feet, inhale, exhale, last time between the palms, inhale, and exhale. Just bringing the knees to relax. Keep the blocks in your hands because you're gonna need them again. And deep inhale and exhale. Feeling the fire in that belly. Mine is on fire anyway. Maybe you have abs of steel and you don't feel it as much as I do. We're gonna take the feet to the floor, setting up for a bridge pose, so you should be able to tickle the heels. And you're gonna put the block, whatever width is comfortable, depending on your hip width, it's gonna be different. I like to take my block to the most narrow, and you're gonna put it between your knees so that we can squeeze our legs together on the block, and you're gonna lift your hips up for your bridge pose. Squeezing the block. We're just gonna activate the legs and the hamstrings. On your inhale, you're gonna keep everything the same, but you're going to reach your right toes to the opposite wall, holding that block. Exhale, both feet back to the mat. Inhale, taking the left toes away, keeping the hips level. Exhale, bringing the feet down. Inhale, squeezing the block, reach that right leg. Exhale, bringing the feet down to the floor. Really drive your heels down into the floor. Inhale, reaching the left leg. Exhale, both feet return to the mat. Inhale, reaching the right leg. Exhale, back to bridge. Inhale, left leg reaches. Exhale, back to bridge. We'll do one more each side. Inhale, reaching the right leg. And exhale, both feet back to the floor. Inhale, left leg reaches, keeping the hips lifted and level. And exhale, feet back to the floor. See if you can just press just a titch higher. And as you exhale, letting your spine roll back to the floor. You can take the block off to the side. We won't be needing it anymore for now. Just gently grab the backs of your knees and you're just gonna take a little roll up. And when you've got enough momentum, just cross your shins. And we will come into tabletop for a moment. Now from your tabletop, I want you to just tuck your toes and just do a little rock back and forth. So coming forward to your tabletop, rocking back, and just giving a little stretch to the bottom of the feet. Inhaling as you come forward to your tabletop, and exhaling as you press to stretch the feet. On your next exhale, coming up to downward facing dog. And just taking a moment to walk out the feet. And do anything here that feels nice. You can bend both legs and straighten. You can bend one leg and just take a quick little peek under the armpit. And once you've gotten out some wiggles, come to a more static downward dog. And we're just going to do a little strengthening and balancing here in down dog before we move on to some flow. So you're going to take your right leg up and back for a three-legged dog. Inhaling. And as you exhale, you can bend the knee and gently open the hips, but keeping the shoulders where they are. And finding that little three-legged down dog with the open hip. You're going to take your gaze between your hands. And I want you to really see what it is you're looking at. Because we're about to go into a variation of down dog that's very humbling. So finding your spot to really see between your hands. And if you feel comfortable, you can lighten up the weight in the left hand. You can take it to some spider fingers. And if you're comfortable, you can start to walk that hand back. If you're still feeling strong, you can attempt to lift the hand and maybe try and reach for the foot. Nice big deep breath in. And you may fall out of it. It's a very difficult pose. Take whatever time you want to play with that. And on your next exhale, come back to your downward dog. Inhaling, reaching the left leg up. Take a moment here with the thigh parallel. And then opening up the hip and bending the knee, keeping the shoulders square. And finding your gaze at one point between your hands. If you'd like to play around with some balancing, you can start to have less weight in your right hand. You can start to walk it back towards the feet. If you're feeling crazy, you can reach up for the foot. Really seeing the spot that you're looking at. If you're extremely brave, you can try and close your eyes here. I'm not going to take my chances today. And on your next exhale, coming back to downward facing dog. And now here,
In this downward facing dog, I do want you to just take a second to close your eyes and appreciate how stable you feel in just a regular down dog now. And feel how much you can trust yourself to close your eyes. Inhale and exhale. Take the eyes open if you want to. We're just going to take a couple ripples forward. So you're going to ripple the spine forward. Inhale, coming to your plank.
Exhale, you're going to drop your knees, your chest and your chin to the floor. Untuck the toes. Inhale, coming to a back bend, so you can come to a cobra. You can press to a full up dog if you feel like you're ready for that. It's pretty early, so be careful. Exhale, you're going to drop your knees and come back into a child's pose. Inhale, coming forward to tabletop. Tuck the toes. Exhale, back to your downward facing dog. We're going to take a few flows through like that. Inhale, coming forward, rippling through the spine. Exhale, knees down, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale to whatever back bend suits you. Exhale, coming to child's pose. Inhale, coming forward to tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Inhale for whatever back bend suits you. Exhale for your child's pose. Inhale forward to tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. See if you can close your eyes once you get comfortable. Inhale, rippling forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, coming forward to tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we're going to add on a little bit. Inhale, rippling forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, coming up to your shins. And you're going to press your hands behind you, lift the hips, open the chest. Exhale, coming back down to your shins. Forward to tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rippling forward through the spine. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, coming to the back bend, lifting the hips, planting the hands behind you, opening the chest. Exhale, back to your shins. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rippling forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Exhale, child's pose. Rolling up through the spine, opening up the chest, planting the hands behind, coming to that back bend. Exhale, back to the shins, and we'll just pause here for a moment on our shins. If your eyes aren't already closed, just take them closed for a second. And take a couple of big deep breaths. Inhaling, exhaling. Taking notice of all your senses, how they're fluctuating throughout the class. And whenever you're ready, making your way back to down dog. We're just gonna Get ourselves a little bit more warm. We're gonna do a couple traditional sun salutations. So on your next inhale, looking forward between your hands, bend your knees, and you're gonna walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back, and exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reaching the arms up overhead, coming to stand. Exhale, releasing the arms by the side for Tadasana. Inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead. Folding over the legs, exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, you're gonna plant your palms. Come back in any way that you want to your chaturanga. Inhale, opening up for your upward facing dog. And exhale, coming back for your downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths here to reset. As you exhale, see if you can release any tension in the backs of the ankles, in the back of the neck. Inhale, looking forward, just like we did in that lopsided down dog. Find a spot to look at and walk, step, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, reaching the spine long. Exhale, folding over. Inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. And exhale, arms release to the sides, Tadasana. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the hands and walk, step, or jump to your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, pulling the core into downward facing dog. Just a few breaths here. If you need to wiggle or take some stillness. We'll just do one more sun salutation. So looking forward, exhale, bend the knees. Walk, step, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, extend the legs if you can, flat back. Exhale, releasing to fold over the legs. Inhale, circling the arms up, reaching overhead. And exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Now you're going to inhale, find your flat back. On your exhale, you're going to step your left foot to the back of the mat. And you're going to find your crescent lunge. So inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. From here, take your right hand, your right thumb, and take it into your right hip crease. And as you inhale, reach the left arm up and over on the diagonal. Using that right thumb to make sure that your hips are in line. And using that left arm to reach up and over on the diagonal to get a beautiful stretch in the psoas. Inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to sweep your left arm down to the floor, and you're just going to shift your hips back to come to a half Hanuman. Any amount of bend that's necessary in your right leg to feel safe and comfortable. Please take any bend that you need. Still using that right thumb to check where your hips are And maybe give a gentle massage to that hip flexor. And we're gonna come forward, back into that crescent lunge. Reach both the arms up for a moment. And we're gonna plant the hands on either side of the foot, tuck the back toes. And you're gonna reach up to your three-legged dog. Bringing that foot back to where it was. Now we're just gonna take a couple of those crescent lunge and half Hanumans a little bit faster. So you're gonna reach up. And sweeping the arm across to the floor as you come back to the half Hanuman. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, down to the floor for the half Hanuman. Two more here. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sweeping over to the half Hanuman. And last one here. Inhale, reaching. Exhale. Inhale, coming forward to that crescent lunge. Exhale, taking the hands to the mat, tucking the back toes. This time, stepping the back foot forward. You're gonna meet at the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, let it release. Inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. This time the right foot goes to the back of the mat, finding that crescent lunge. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, taking the left thumb to that left hip crease, using it as a guide for keeping your hips from drifting to where they shouldn't. Sometimes the tendency is for that front hip to drift forward. You want to try and keep them together. Inhale, reaching that right arm up on the diagonal, getting that nice psoas stretch. And on your next exhale, sweeping the arm down to the floor and extending that left leg as much as you can for your half Hanuman. Taking a couple of breaths here. And exhale. On your next inhale, coming forward to that crescent lunge, reaching both hands up. Exhale, plant them on the floor. Either side of your left foot, tuck your back toes, and we're gonna reach up to that three-legged dog just for a moment. And as you exhale, bringing it back forward, and we're gonna take a flow through a couple of those. So finding that crescent lunge, reaching the arm up, and exhale, sweeping back to the half Hanuman. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, floating back to your half Hanuman. Inhale, coming forward. And exhale, half Hanuman. One last time, here we go. Inhale, forward. Crescent lunge variation. And exhale, half Hanuman. Inhale, finding that crescent lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, tuck the back toes, and we're gonna meet in that forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, flat back. And however you like, stepping back through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog.
And exhale, finding down dog. If while we take a moment here, you'd like to close your eyes, give it a try, feel free. On your next inhale, take your right leg up to three-legged dog. Exhale, we're building on this, so you're gonna come forward and you're gonna come into your high lunge. We're gonna do a very similar thing. So from your high lunge, taking that right thumb into the right hip crease, reaching up and over on the diagonal. And then on your exhale, you're gonna come back into your half Hanuman, but you're gonna have a little hover of that back knee. Take any amount of bend in this front knee. It can be quite an intense stretch, so if you need to wiggle a little bit like I am, that's fine. Coming forward, inhale, reaching up, high lunge. And exhale, sweeping the hand back, finding that perch in your half Hanuman, that little hover. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, finding half Hanuman. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, plant the hand for half Hanuman. Your next inhale, you're gonna reach up and over, you're gonna windmill open into your warrior two. So in my warrior two, I find it's very difficult for me to find a lot of range of motion in that front hip. So something I like to do is press the foot really strongly into the floor. And from there, what I do is I twist my heel forward. So my heel is twisting forward, pressing down into the floor as if I'm trying to drill a hole into the floor. From here, inhale, peaceful warrior, reaching right arm up and overhead. And exhale, taking a brief moment in side angle. Inhale, reaching back to peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Pressing strongly into both feet. Exhale, side angle. One last time here, inhale, peaceful warrior. And you're just gonna find your low lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, stepping the foot back to downward facing dog. Inhale, we're going to the other side, so that left leg floats up to your three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forward. Setting up for that high lunge, taking that left thumb to the left hip crease. Inhale, reaching up on the diagonal. Exhale, planting the hand, finding that hovering half Hanuman. Inhale, reaching. And exhale, half Hanuman. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hovering half Hanuman. One more time, inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, find that half Hanuman. On your next inhale, traveling through that high lunge and then opening up into warrior two. If it feels good for you to find that drill of the heel to relieve some of the tension in that front hip, feel free to use that. Inhale, reaching back for peaceful warrior. And exhale, coming forward for a brief side angle. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reaching up and back. See if you can find something that feels nice with the arms. Inhale one more time, reaching, peaceful warrior. And on your exhale, just taking it down to your low lunge. Inhaling here. Exhaling, coming to downward facing dog. And we're just gonna take one more little variation on that flow before we switch it up. So inhale, taking your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, bringing it forward. We're gonna find that high lunge again. From here, if you wanna find that thumb in the hip crease, that's fine. If not, you can do anything else with your arms that you'd prefer. From here, on the exhale, we're gonna sweep the arm across. Make any adjustments in your right foot that you need to, so you can reach over to Skandasana. Inhale, returning to the high lunge. Exhale, sweeping across for Skandasana. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, sweeping across for Skandasana, keeping the chest nice and open. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, sweeping across to Skandasana, and this time we're gonna stay for a moment. So find your hands wherever you'd like. In a prayer, you can open up. Really try not to sink too much into that right leg. Inhale and exhale. Taking this opportunity maybe to close the eyes. Take notice of any of your other senses that are maybe being neglected. Give them a little attention. On your next inhale, coming back to your low lunge. Planting your hands, exhale, find your downward facing dog. Woo. My hips are starting to feel very warm. On your next inhale, lifting that left leg up to three-legged dog. Exhale, bringing it forward. Inhale, find your high lunge. If you want to bring that left thumb to the hip crease, do whatever feels good with your arms. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, sweeping across to find that Skandasana. Inhale, reaching up. You'll notice I'm readjusting my left leg every time, because if I were to keep it here, it would be too much external rotation for my Skandasana. Inhale, reaching up to the high lunge. And exhale, sweeping out and across. Skandasana. Really take up as much space as you can, reaching, expanding. Really sweep that arm across the Skandasana here. And as we exhale, settling into that more static version of Skandasana. And if you'd like to, closing the eyes. I say more static, meaning your body, if you're alive, is not actually ever still. Even if you can't perceive any of the movements from the outside, there's so much that's always happening inside of your body to keep you breathing,
to keep your blood flowing, your heart pumping. So there's not really any such thing as a static position. On your next inhale, coming to that low lunge. And exhale, downward facing dog. Just taking a moment here. If you want to close the eyes. Again, feeling that stability and bliss of having all 4 of your limbs on the ground for downward facing dog. Oh, I have a cat. Hello. On your next inhale, looking forward, or if you're crazy, keep your eyes closed. Bend the knees and walk, step, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, folding over. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, coming to Tadasana. Now from here, we're just going to take a little something that I like to call figure 4 to the floor, which is pretty much exactly how it sounds. So we're going to be taking figure 4 variations and we're going to make our way down to the floor. So starting with your weight in your left foot, you're going to float your right leg up, crossing the ankle over the left knee and sending the hips back, keeping the chest nice and open. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale, deepen. Now we're going to make our way down to this little perch position. But if you have a flying pigeon and you want to just take a little pit stop and flying pigeon on your way there, that's totally fine. You can take a couple breaths there in your flying pigeon. And whenever you're ready, we're all going to meet. Fingertips planted on the floor, and we're coming to this little perched figure 4. That definitely has a proper name that I cannot remember at the moment. And if you'd prefer to keep your fingertips on the floor and play around with closing the eyes, that's fine. If not, you can play around by lifting the hands. Whoop. It's not going very well for me today. If you feel confident to lift your hands overhead, feel free to take that variation. You'll probably do a better job than me. I'm just gonna hang out here, my fingertips on the floor, get my ego in check for a second. And once you've had your fun with that, taking the hands behind you, you're gonna walk your tailbone to the floor. And we're coming to this upright version of your figure 4. So if this is a little too much for you, feel free to take the foot out so it's a little less intense. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Big inhale. And as you exhale, rolling down to come to your reclined figure 4. Enjoying this moment here. If you'd like to, extend the left leg
And reach for the back of the calf, or if you can reach for the toes. Just make sure that your right ankle is either above or below your knee. You don't want it over top of your knee. Inhale. And exhale. Letting that leg release if you have it. Finding your foot, your left foot on the floor. We're gently just gonna take the hips up and over to the right slightly and let this entire shape fall to the left. If you wanna take your left hand around your right ankle for some support, that's totally fine. And just find this little twist for a moment. Inhale. And exhale. Just let that spine ring out. If you're having very intense sensations on your outer right hip like I am, just do your best to take a couple deep breaths. If you need to use that right thumb as a tool to kind of coax that hip to relax a little more, that might feel really nice. It doesn't always feel nice for me, but sometimes it's necessary. And on your next inhale, returning back to center, evening out your hips, and just taking the knees into the chest. Go rock up and down your spine until you've built up enough momentum to plant both feet firmly on the floor. Press into the ground and come up to a chair pose, because we have another side to do. Inhale, coming up for Tadasana. And taking the weight into that right foot, floating the left leg up, crossing the right heel over the left heel over the right knee. Oh my goodness, rights and lefts. We're a mess today. Getting a little too relaxed. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, dropping down, if you want to take your little pit stop in your flying pigeon, feel free. And when you're ready, coming to your little perch. Now this is my time to see if I can redeem myself a little bit. It's such a beautiful thing about having two sides of your body. You always get a second chance. Wherever you are, really seeing what you're looking at, if your eyes are open, it's going to help a lot with the balance. Because let's be real, the reason that I fell over on the first side is because my drishti was a mess. Forgot the whole purpose of this practice. And on your next exhale, coming down to that upright figure four. Taking your right foot however far away from your body you need to find the right intensity. And on your next exhale, melting down to your reclined figure four. Inhaling and exhaling deeply. Finding whatever variation you did on the first side. So if you extended your leg on the first side, as long as you have no injury preventing you from doing it on this side, give it a go on this side as well. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And on your next exhale, just let the right foot, sole of the foot, come down onto the floor. Inhale, lifting the hips and readjusting them slightly to the left. And exhale, let the whole shape fall over to the right. If you need to grab the left ankle with that right hand for a little bit of extra support, feel free to do that. Twisting open to the left. Again, if you need to use your left thumb as a tool to just kind of encourage that left hip to relax if you're having some really intense feelings there. Inhale. And on your exhale, just trying to let any intense feelings soften a little bit. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, returning to the center. And finding both feet to plant on the ground. We're just going to finish off with a few back bends. So you can take either bridge or wheel, whichever one feels good for you today. We're all going to start by coming up to bridge though. So inhale, pressing the heels into the ground, lifting the hips up. And if you want to, finding the hands next to the ears, make sure you're pulling the heels in towards your shoulders. So there's a lot of engagement in your hamstrings and your glutes, so your low back is supported. Then if you want to press up into the wheel, feel free to do that, or holding in your bridge. Inhale. On your next exhale, returning everything down to the floor. Inhale here. Gonna take 2 more rounds. Exhale, let it go. Inhale. On your next exhale, setting up for your second round. So first, lifting the hips, finding that bridge pose. If you wanted to put the block between your legs again, like we did at the beginning of class, to make sure that you're using your inner thighs, feel free to do that. If you want to come up for that wheel, pressing into the hands. Making sure you're keeping that engagement in your glutes and in your hamstrings, so you're not putting any unnecessary pressure on the low back. Exhale, coming back down to your back. Let everything relax. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, getting ready for your last round. Exhale, curling the tailbone off the floor, finding that bridge pose, nice even hips, pulling the heels in. If you want to come up to that full wheel, planting the hands beside the ears, pressing up. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Thinking about whether or not you want to experiment with closing your eyes. Inhale. And exhale, letting everything come down to the floor. Reach your arms out to the side and let your knees take a little rock side to side. Letting that low back release. On your next inhale, just taking the legs up for a happy baby pose. So when I'm doing this pose, sometimes it can get quite intense for me. And then I sometimes try to think, what would a baby do in this pose? Because there's a reason it's called happy baby. We always see babies doing this, and they're having a great time. So why is it that when I'm doing happy baby, sometimes I'm so miserable? It doesn't make any sense. So just take a second, imagine the happiest little baby you've ever seen, and imagine how they would do this. So you see babies, they kind of like wiggle their feet. So you might want to give your feet a little wiggle back and forth. They're usually laughing at themselves because they know they look silly, but they don't care. They're just a baby being happy. If you feel ridiculous, that's okay. See if this is a moment you want to take your eyes closed. Because if you see yourself, you might lose it. Might start to have a giggle fit, which is also okay. And on your next exhale, finding a more static, happy baby. Seeing how that affected the pose. Just kind of letting it get a little bit silly. Not really caring so much what it looked like. And feel free to stay in happy baby as long as you like, but we are going to go into a guided meditation. So finding any position that is a comfortable Shavasana equivalent. So it can be Shavasana. I'm going to take a traditional Shavasana, but if there's something else that's more relaxing for you, feel free to take that. And making sure the eyes are closed. So I'm just going to guide you through a little meditation based on the sense withdrawal. So we're going to start taking your attention to your ears. And just taking a second to think about how your ear functions. So all the sound waves are making your ears vibrate on the inside. And those vibrations are firing your synapses and sending messages to your brain. Your brain is processing those sounds. So the sound of my voice, your brain is processing that sound so that your body is guided to know what to do. And that happens with such incredible speed, but it's so subtle. So take a moment to just feel the vibrations in your ears. And take some time to appreciate how complex and an intelligent system that is, that allows your brain to process sounds so quickly. Notice how the sound waves coming from the sound of my voice affect your ear differently than the subtler sounds like the music in the background, maybe any wind blowing outside of your window, any little sounds that anyone in your house might be making. And just feel all of those different intensities of vibrations in your ear. And next, I want you to take your awareness to your sense of touch. Noticing how your skin feels. How you respond to the feeling of the floor against your skin. And how that's a different sensation from the air surrounding you. And both of those are a different sensation from the feeling of your clothes on your skin. And just taking a second to notice the subtlety of those different objects touching your skin. Notice how it feels when the oxygen enters your lungs as you inhale, and how that feels different from when you exhale and the air passes on the way out of your lungs. And again, taking a quick acknowledgement that all of these sensations, you're able to process them because of these very intricate pathways, all these synapses leading to your brain. And taking some time to acknowledge this beautiful system and how incredible it is, the incredible things it does even when you don't notice. Next, taking your attention to your sense of smell. Maybe someone in your house is cooking something delicious. Maybe you have some incense burning. Maybe you can't exactly pinpoint what the smell is. Maybe you have a little pet that smells a certain way. And see if any of the smells that come up might elicit a memory or a type of feeling. And again, acknowledging your brain's capacity to associate a simple smell with something like a memory may be very significant to you. And next, taking your attention to your sense of taste. Maybe you have some lingering flavors in your mouth. Maybe there's not much of a taste at all. But noticing how your taste buds feel on the roof of your mouth. talking about this is starting to make you hungry, just acknowledge that. Try to come back to the present moment. And we're going to keep the eyes closed. Spend a little more time before reintroducing sight. Gently rolling over to one side or rocking up to a seat, however is comfortable. Keeping those eyes closed as you find your comfortable seat. And before we open the eyes, taking a second to acknowledge that even though your eyes have been closed, you've actually been seeing this whole time. You were just looking at the back of your eyelids. And take a moment for yourself to think about whether or not you were really seeing what you were looking at. And if you weren't, that's fine. But take a moment to really see what you're looking at and notice, what do the back of your eyelids look like? Do they look like darkness? Or are they different? Maybe in some ways they're the same as darkness, and in some ways they're different. And once you've taken a second to appreciate what the back of your eyelids looks like, you can gently open the eyes and start to take in all of the objects that you can see around you. What's straight ahead of you, anything that's in your peripheral vision. And just taking a moment to see if you can integrate all of your senses and appreciate the beautiful and complex system that allows all of these subtleties to happen simultaneously. Inhale, reaching your arms up overhead. Find the hands together in a prayer. Notice how your hands feel touching each other as they come down to your heart. Feel maybe your breath tickles your fingers on the way down. Bring your hands to your heart. Thank you again for coming to watch this practice. I am really grateful that you took the time to give it a try. I look forward to hearing what you thought about it and connecting with you. Namaste.